destroyed.
So because you're not allowed to have fun anymore, all of our hobbies and entertainment needs to be thoroughly checked for anything that could be deemed a little bit inappropriate, a little bit toxic. That's exactly what's going on over at CBR.com, a site supposedly dedicated to comics, video games, movies. They kind of masquerade as a news site when really they're an activist site. That's what I would say. I don't really think they care about any of the stuff and bringing you coverage. They just want to tell you what's wrong and what's right. Saw this article. Why does teabagging in video games remain so popular? Which is kind of funny. Teabagging started way back in the day. I want to say it during Halo 1 is where it really started. I would say it became more so popular in Halo 2 because that's when they actually introduced Xbox Live and you could play online multiplayer, I think for the first time, at least on a console. Though I could be wrong, this might have started before Halo. I didn't start playing online games until then, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Feel free to correct me in the comments. But it's been pretty popular ever since. You saw the action at the beginning of the video. It's basically a little bit of hazing. You're having some fun. You know, there's a lot of competition when you're doing online multiplayer, particularly in an FPS. They get very competitive, and that's kind of what makes them fun. You know, that's why they're so popular. But you have these non-gamers, these weirdos that can barely play video games. Go watch any Polygon Plays compilation on YouTube, and you'll see just how terrible these game journalists are. They're all horrible at video games. My theory on that is because they don't play games. The only reason they're even on these websites is to hop onto a better platform because they all want to be political activists. These are kind of, they see these as stepping stones to some other form of activism. So they don't really care, and they don't get the competition because all these weirdos, they've never been competitive in their life. Why do you think they all want to bring in like communism and socialism and stuff? They don't want to have to compete with anybody because they're all lazy. They're all a bunch of bums. So the idea of being competitive in a video game, they probably huddle in a corner. They're scared seeing people walking around with firearms in a game. They're crying in the corner already before the game even starts. So you go over there and start humping them when they're down. They're going to start thinking that that's some kind of assault or something. I think I even read that once. I've seen something where somebody was comparing that to it, and I remember laughing for about a good 5 minutes. But yeah, there's no fun allowed. So a little bit of hazing, a little bit of fun, toxic behavior. You're not allowed to have that anymore. So this isn't even a very long article. What's funny is they don't even rack up an argument to why this is a problem. They started off like this. Gamers who play in online co-op have an arsenal of ways to tilt opponents, ranging from in-game taunts to colorful language over chat. However, there remains an unchanged insult that has transcended genre and platform: teabagging. Teabagging is performed by crouching over a fallen foe, which serves as both celebratory gesture by the victor and an act of humiliation for the defeated. It will most likely continue for as long as players have access to a crouch input, despite its widespread use and notoriety. However, some players are on the fence as to whether teabagging adds anything of value to video games. Now, what's funny here, some players are on the fence. Now, here's where you would normally link to some kind of evidence or something. They just add this link right here, and you click it, and it just takes you to video games on CBR, which I found kind of humorous. Oh, here's why does teabagging in video games remain so popular? The article that I just showed you. Like, there's no evidence here on anything that anyone has a problem with this. Here's the problem with this article. Nobody has a problem with it. Just Philip Hugh here, who wrote the article, has a problem with it. So he just puts that in there. Unless you're going to show some kind of evidence, Philip, don't say that a bunch of players are on the fence about it, because I've never heard anybody complain about it. In fact, most people think it's kind of funny. Some people get a little upset about it, which is what makes it funny. The rest of the article, he just goes over and talks about the history of it and how it's a taunt and where it came from. And then here it is at the end. therein lies the primary issue with teabagging. It's seen as disrespectful, and it possesses the potential to promote toxicity within a game. Playing a game is supposed to be fun, and if someone is constantly disrespecting other players, it's difficult to find enjoyment in that. It's definitely fun when you do it to another person. And then, the other argument that he makes is that the victim of it will get up and want to get revenge, and then the guy who did it again might get the guy who did it before might get to do it again, and apparently that's problematic. But there you go. Some argue it's simply part of the game, I agree, or that players shouldn't take it personally. While those points may have some merit, it certainly doesn't mean players should get a free pass to harass others for their amusement. And that's it. That's the entire article right there summed up right there. But he gets a whole headline, gets an article under his belt, and gets to start maybe a conversation. Now, what this can do is possibly lead, because this is how this works. So Polygon will see this. They'll write an article and they'll say, some players are having some issues with this. And you know what they'll do? You know how this doesn't link to some players, like I showed you? They'll link to this article. This is something that a lot of these outlets do, actually. And this isn't just in video games. They'll do this with all kinds of articles. So they'll say, here's all this evidence. And it'll link to articles like this that have no evidence. It's kind of a scam. And you can follow this rabbit hole. I challenge you to do it with something that you read. Go to some article that's making all kinds of crazy claims and click the links that are in it and follow the rabbit hole of all of the links and where they go. One time I did that, and I actually went to a no longer there screen, and I thought that was pretty telling of what was going on with this legacy media scam. So there's some funny stuff here. I think that this is ridiculous. Nobody cares about this, but like I said, everything that we do must be gone through with a fine-tooth comb. We need to take the fun out of everything until there's just nothing there. Nothing but finger-wagging, lectures, and activism. That's where you're supposed to be having fun. Why are you sitting there playing video games when you could be out protesting? Duh. Anyway, I don't know when this is going to stop. Maybe when all these outlets go out of business, which might be soon. They're losing advertisers every week. So, I mean, you can only pump money into these outlets so long before they just go under. But don't worry. They won't go down without a fight. They'll be labeling all of us as toxic istophobes. They're going to go down swinging. Like ist and phobe. You'll have ist on one fist, phobe on the other. And they're going to go down swinging and trying to take everybody down with them. So, it'll be fun to watch. Anyway. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about all this. Do you think teabagging is toxic? Let me know. Also, throw a like up, share the video, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.